Hello once again, this is James. Welcome to my Microsoft Access videos. Today we are going to continue by looking at queries in Microsoft Access. Queries are used to ask questions about information stored in tables contained in a database. There are two types of queries. We have the query wizard or simple queries, which perform simple or general queries. We have design view queries, which are used to perform advanced queries. These perform complex or more specific queries. Let us start by looking at the simple or wizard queries. For example, they've asked us to design a query called G1 to display the fields of test ID, first name, gender, and test 1 out of 30. If you go to our database here, we have our table called text results. This table contains the following fields: test ID, first name, second name, gender, date of birth, test 1 out of 30, and test 2 out of 70. Now our query wants us to eliminate all the other fields but only get these fields: test ID, the first name, the gender, and test 1 out of 30. It needs only 4 fields: test ID, first name, gender, and test 1 out of 30. So when we come back to our database table, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fields. Now we're only interested in this field, and the gender field, and test 1 out of 30. So we want to eliminate all the other fields. So how do we do that? That's when the simple query wizard comes in. Now, how do we do this? We would go to create, we go to query wizard. In this query wizard, choose simple query wizard, then okay. Now here, you will choose what you want. According to our question, we need test ID, first name, gender, and test 1 out of 30. So if you come back to our database, we need test ID, first name, gender, and test 1 out of 30. We use these arrows to pick what we want. If you pick something by mistake and you wanted to eliminate it from, simply select it and click the arrow taking it backwards. The double arrows will take everything. The double arrows pointing to the right takes everything. Double arrows pointing to the left take back everything. So what we are interested in is test ID, first name, the gender, and test 1 out of 30. Then we say next. Now we'll leave it in details. Next, we give it our title. They told us to call it G1. Then we click finish. So notice that it has eliminated the other fields which you see here. Now the G1 is showing us only those fields which we are supposed to do, or which we've been asked from our query. Test ID, first name, gender, and test 1 out of 30. Let us try the next one. A query called G2 to display test ID, second name, gender, and date of birth. So still, we'll still go back to our query wizard. Simple query. Click OK. Once test ID, pardon me, you have to choose the table here. So we say test ID, second name, gender, and date of birth. We go next, put our name as G2, and we go next, and you notice that it has still eliminated the other fields which are on the table, the general table. So G2 has tester ID, second name, gender, and date of birth, as opposed to the general table which has all the columns or all the fields concerned. So that is how we perform the simple queries or the wizard queries. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.